Karting Basics 101, how to replace a steering column. Welcome back to the Power Public YouTube channel. Today's video we're going to be showing you how to change out a steering column. Thanks to everyone that's been watching over the last few weeks. We really appreciate that extra support that you guys have been showing us. But now let's get straight into the video. So if you get caught out at the track and you need to change your steering column real quick, this is the way to do it. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So the first things first, we're going to remove the steering wheel and the steering boss by just removing this one bolt and nut. So you don't get everything lost, you can put the bolt, nut and washer back together and put it in the seat for later. So with the 2.5mm Allen key, we're going to remove the grub screw, or loosen it off anyway, and just drop that guy down there. Now we can remove the two tie rod ends using a 5mm Allen key and your 13mm ring spanner. Put it all back together so you don't lose anything, and you can keep the orientation in the correct way. Insert the 5mm Allen key into the steering shaft, and then using a 13mm normal ring spanner, we're just going to go underneath the steering column support part of the frame and the floor tray. And then we can undo the steering column using the Allen key. If the steering column is stuck in the bush, you can use a screwdriver and just push it up to get it out. And you can rotate the steering shaft up in the steering column bush, remove your Allen key, and then simply slide out the old steering column. Now we can remove the safety bush. So now that we've got our steering column removed, we're ready to reinstall the new steering column into the go-kart. Now you may have a different brand of go-kart, but they're all going to be pretty similar. These are a 13mm nut or an M8, but there used to be a 10mm nut with a 17mm spanner. So there is some small variations, but most go-karts are going to use a very similar process to this to get your steering column in and out of your go-kart. So now we're going to show you guys how to reinstall a steering column back into the go-kart. Most importantly, before we go any further, we're going to install the safety bush. Then we can install the steering column into the steering column support bush here above the fuel tank. Install the washer and the nut. Do those up with the 13mm ring spanner, and you can use the Allen key trick, or you can just turn the steering bell. Now we're ready to install the tie rod ends, making sure we've got the right orientation with our stepped washers. Do those up with a 5mm Allen key and a 13mm ring spanner. Now you can slide on the steering boss and do that bolt up with a 5mm Allen key and a 10mm spanner. So now that you've replaced the steering column, I'd highly recommend doing a wheel alignment. Now we have covered that in other videos, so we'll leave a link in the description below. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in, and we're going to see you next week in the next video.